Hello and welcome to your pocket meditation. Next 15 minutes, we're gonna spend it in a calm, relaxed state of mind. And we're going to take a break from our long, sometimes heavy daily life. So now, find a comfortable space where you can sit for the next 15 minutes. And close your eyes. You see, the easiest way to get into the meditative state is to begin by listening. If you simply close your eyes and allow yourself to hear all the sounds that are going on around you, just listen to the general hum and buzz of the world, the same way you would be listening to music. Don't try to identify the sounds you're hearing. Don't put names on them. Simply allow them to play with your eardrums and let them go in and out. In other words, you could put it like that. Let your ears hear whatever they want to hear. You don't need to judge the sounds. There are no, as it were, proper sounds or improper sounds. And it really doesn't matter if someone coughs or sneezes or drops something. It's all just sound. And since I am talking to you right now and you're doing this, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice just as if it were noise. Try to make any sense out of what I'm saying, because your brain will take care of that automatically. You don't have to try to understand anything. Just listen to the sound. Now, as you pursue this experiment, you will very naturally find that you can't help naming sounds, identifying them, that you will go on thinking inside your head. But it's important that you don't try to repress those thoughts by forcing them out of your mind, because that will have precisely the same effect as if you were trying to smooth rough water, a flat island. We're just going to disturb it all more. So what do? What you do is this. As you hear sounds coming up in your head, thoughts, you simply listen to them as part of the general noise going on, just as you would be listening to the sound of my voice, or just as you would be listening to cars going by or birds chattering outside the window. So look at your own thoughts as just noises, and soon you will find that the so-called outside world and the so-called inside world, they start coming together. They're just happening. Your thoughts are happening just like the sounds going outside, and everything is simply happening. And all you're doing is merely watching it. Now, in this process, another thing that is happening that is very important is that you're breathing. And as you start meditation, you allow your breath to run just as it wills. In other words, you don't need to do any breathing exercises before, but just watch your breath breathing the way it wants to breathe. And then notice a curious thing about this. Okay, you say in the ordinary everyday sense, I breathe. feel that breathing is something that you are doing voluntarily, just in the same way as you might be walking or talking. But you will also notice that when you're not thinking about your breath goes on just the same. So the curious thing about breath is that it can be looked upon both voluntarily and involuntarily. You can feel on the one hand, I am doing this, and on the other hand, it is happening to me. And that is why breathing is the most significant part of meditation, because it is going to show you, as you become more aware of your breath, that the fast division that we make between what we do and what happens to us is actually arbitrary. So that as you watch your breathing, you will become aware that both the voluntary and involuntary aspects of your experience are all just one big happening. And at first this might seem a little scary, because you might think, well, am I just the puppet, a passive witness of something that is going on way beyond my control? Or on the other hand, am I really doing everything that's going along? Well, if I were, I should be God. That would be quite embarrassing, because that would mean I would be in charge of everything, and that's a terribly responsible position. Well, actually, the truth of the matter, as you will see it also, is that both things are true. You can see that everything is happening to you, and on the other hand, you're doing everything. For example, it's your eyes that are turning the sun into light. It's the nerve ends in your skin that are turning electric vibrations in the air into heat and temperature. It's your eardrums that are turning vibrations in the air into sound. And in that way, you are creating the world. But you see, when we're not talking about it, when we're not philosophizing about it, then there's just this happening, this and we won't give it a name. So now then, when you breathe for a while, just letting it happen and not forcing it in any way, you will discover a curious thing, that without making any effort, your breath becomes more and more deep. Now, in other words, supposing you're simply breathing out. And breathing out is very important because it's the breath of relaxation. It's similar to when we say on the heave of a sigh of relief, like So when you're breathing out, you get the sensation that your breath is falling out, dropping. And this sort of feeling you have, as if you were settling down in an extremely comfortable bed. You just get as heavy as possible and you let yourself go. And you let your breath go, just the same way. And when it's thoroughly and comfortably out, and it feels like coming back again, don't pull it back. Just let your lungs expand, expand, expand until they feel very comfortably full, and then you wait a moment and let it stay. There, once again, you let it fall out. And so in this way, you will discover that your breath gets quite naturally easier and easier, slower and slower, and more powerful. there were something going on, not something you're doing, but just happenings. And watching your breath as a happening that is neither voluntary nor involuntary. You're simply aware of these basic sensations. Then you begin to be in a state of meditation. Don't worry anything, don't hurry about the future, don't worry about the progress you're making. Just be entirely content to be aware of what is and what is not. Don't be terribly selective, particularly say I should think of this and not this. Just watch whatever